The movie starts. We are shown the atmosphere of America in the 1970s, where it is just like hell. There were riots everywhere, serial killing had become commonplace, and the most dangerous thing was the emergence of new cults which worship demons, and to fulfill their desires, sacrificing children as a sacrifice had also become commonplace. During all this, the main character of our movie, Jack, launched his night show called Night Owls. As soon as he launched it, this show became very famous. But Jack wanted to bring this show to #1. People started comparing his show to other night shows whose rating was the highest. Jack wanted to beat that show. The channel on which Jack's show was running, that channel was about to close before that show, but the Night Owl show increased its rating a lot. That's why the channel owner also signed a 5-year contract with Jack. At this time, at a press conference, a lady asked Jack that you have become such a big celebrity in a year. What did you do for that? Did you make a sacrifice? As soon as the question was asked, Jack was shocked. He did not give any answer. But in the next morning's newspaper, we got to see a news that the old host of the Night Owl show was killed in an accident. Jack loved his wife Madeleine the most in his life. Apart from this, we get a news about Jack that he is associated with a cult group. A cult group whose members are very big politicians, actors, and the rich people of this country. This cult can make or break anyone's career with magic. It clearly means that this cult is associated with the devil, and there are strange things like black magic here. Time passed. Jack's show was going well, but he still couldn't beat the show that was going to be #1. All this was bothering Jack, but he feels the biggest shock of his life when he found out that his wife had lung cancer. Doctors also could not find out the reason behind his lung cancer. Madeleine was neither a smoker nor did she ever drink in her life. Before dying, she decided to come to Jack's show, and here she told her love story. When Madeleine's came in the show, Jack's show's falling rating suddenly took a hit, but he still couldn't beat his competitor. 2 weeks later, Madeleine died, and this was a big shock for Jack. He left the show and no one knew about it, and then came back a month later. After coming back, Jack could not run his show like before. Not only did he not beat his competitor, his show's rating dropped so much that he was afraid that the show's owner would fire him because his contract was also about to expire. To run this show, Jack made a lot of plans. Jack had no other way. Finally, he planned something that would increase his show's rating a lot. It was the night of 1977, Halloween. He invited a person to the show who could talk to souls and a magician who does not believe in ghosts or paranormal things. He believed that he hypnotizes people and shows them. The third guest was Dr. Jude, who was a psychiatrist, and here she was going to come with a girl named Lilly. The name of the show was Late Night with Devil. Finally, the show starts and Jack calls his first guest. After a scary entry, this man named Christo tells Jack that he always hears the voices of ghosts. That's why he makes people talk about those ghosts. Today is Halloween, and for this night, the doors of the world are open for souls. Those souls who have recently died come to this world to finish their last work. This is why people change their faces on Halloween. Hearing this, Jack's mood suddenly became serious. Then Christo starts his work. Hearing the voices of ghosts, he hears the name Peterson. A man stands in front of the audience and says, "Yes, I know this name, but not Peterson, Peterman. This is the name of my ex-wife who ran away 5 years ago but did not die." Hearing this, everyone starts laughing. Jack's show was in a mess. But then Christo hears another name, the name of a lady's son sitting in the same audience, who died 5 years ago. Hearing all this, the audience suddenly became quiet. Now it was time for the break. Jack was going to go on a break. But then suddenly we see that Christo's condition has deteriorated a lot. His brain is twitching. According to him, this is a soul named Minnie. Jack asks everyone if they knows a girl named Minnie, but no one here knew Minnie. After hearing this, that soul started hurting Christo even more. While this is happening, we also see the lights flickering here. Christo's condition was so bad that her eyes turned backwards. Seeing his condition, Jack asks him who he wants to talk to. Christo tells him that he wants to talk to a man who is unmarried, but he has a wedding ring in his hand. As soon as he said this, the lights flickered again and Christo fell down, as if the soul had left him. In the break, we see that Christo's condition is so bad that his nose is bleeding. Jack enters the show again, and this time he called his second guest, a magician. This magician believes that there is nothing paranormal in this world. There are no ghosts. They just hypnotize everyone. And this is what he was going to prove today. He said if anyone prove him wrong, we'll get check of $100,000 from him. But this has never happened in his life. This magician also calls Christo a fraud who claims he can talk to souls. Christo gets angry and throws water on him and leaves. To normalize his anger, Jack tells the audience that Christo is not a fraud. What he heard was absolutely right. First, he heard about the soul of that woman's daughter. And second, the name of the soul he told was actually my wife, Madeleine. Minnie is her nickname and she was looking for me. He shows the audience that he has a wedding ring in his hand. And he is unmarried at this time. He is not fake. Listening to Jack, this magician tells Christo, okay, I'll give you a new challenge. Prove me wrong and take a check of $500,000 from here. Christo fell and came here with great difficulty. And as soon as he came, he vomited a very big black color. He vomited black twice and everyone was scared to see him. Jack quickly took a break and tried to calm down his audience so that they doesn't panic and send Christo to the hospital. But the magician is still not ready to believe him. He thinks Jack is doing all this drama to increase the rating of his show. Anyway, now they are coming back from the break. And this time Jack had to call his third and biggest guest, a psychiatrist who had brought a patient with him who was a girl. Devil used to come inside her body. Before calling her, Jack shows his audience. Where did this psychiatrist get this girl? So this story is related. From an ordinary house, this house looked like a cult center from inside. Devil was worshipped here. The people there considered him their god. These people used to sacrifice small girls to fulfill their desires. And to sacrifice, these children were born in a cult center. Every girl living in this cult center used to give birth to children just to sacrifice. And after that, they used to kill them with a specific knife of the devil and sacrifice. Whoever saw this ritual used to come under the control of the devil. When the situation got worse, FBI raided the cult center. For 4 days, a little war was going on. No member of the cult center was able to get out of there. And when they thought they were going to lose, they killed this cult center with a bomb. So finally, along with the cult center, all the followers of the devil were also killed. But a 10-year-old girl, Lilly, survived here. After this incident, the mental condition of the girl was not good. To treat this girl, they contacted Dr. June, a psychiatrist. While talking to Lilly, the psychiatrist found out that there is a demon in Lilly, or the demon has controlled over her. She wanted to talk to the demon inside Lilly. The talk could not be done, but Lilly became very uncontrollable. After researching on Lilly, this psychiatrist wrote a book, Conversation with the Devil. And for its promotion, she came here today in this show. Finally, now Lilly and the psychiatrist come in front of the audience. Lilly was walking as if someone else had controlled over her body. The way she sat, the way she talked, the way she looked, everything was strange. She answered people's questions before they were able to finish it, as if she knew all the questions. She had not yet seen the audience or Jack. She was only looking at the cameras. The first time she turns to Jack, she says that you don't worry about the show. Soon you are going to be very famous. As soon as she said this, she looked at the cameras in a strange way, and as soon as he saw her actions, Jack had to take a break. When Jack started going backstage, this time Lilly asked him, "Am I not beautiful?" As soon as she heard his voice, Jack's feet stopped. Her voice was now not hers, but someone else's, maybe Madeleine's voice. Hearing this, the psychiatrist quickly takes Jack aside and tells him to stop the show. He tells her that we should not call Lily's demon on this show, because there is definitely something wrong. She has been taking your name since yesterday. I wanted to tell you this again and again, but I didn't get the time. Before Lilly does something wrong for you, you should stop this show. But seeing the increasing ratings of the show, Jack refuses to listen to her. While they are talking, the producer of the show comes here. He takes Jack aside and tells him that Christo died due to brain hemorrhage, and this news suddenly killed all his senses. This time, it was the most important show for him. So he told the producer that no one present here should know anything about his death. Jack comes back from the break and starts the show, and this time he asks the psychiatrist some questions. Like, is the demon in Lilly Abraxas? When the psychiatrist answers no, I think there is a normal girl's soul in Lilly right now who follows the Abraxas demon. The magicians made fun of them. Jack ignores the magician and asks Lilly, "Why did you name the demon Regal?" To which Lilly replies, "Because it suddenly comes into my mind, and suddenly leaves. After saying that, a technical glitch was seen here again. Cameras flickered and a strange sound fell into everyone's ears. The sound was so loud that all the mirrors present here were broken. When a man tried to turn off the sound, he got an electric shock. The magician quickly took out the plug of the sound. The magician believed that all this was Jack's plan. But Lilly says, "No, my demon has done this." Jack says, "If your demon is with you, why don't you talk to him?" When she talks to him, the psychiatrist gets scared. Because in the contract, it was not said that the demon would be talked to on the show. Jack insisted on his words, and here the psychiatrist could not say anything. The psychiatrist did not want to do this. But when Lilly herself agrees to talk to the demon, the psychiatrist cannot do anything about it. Now the audience also wanted to see the devil talking. Jack goes on a break again, and here a member of his team takes him aside and says, "I know that Christo is dead. Now this glitch that I saw, all this is the work of the demon. If this is the case, then please stop this show here. Otherwise, you will regret it." But Jack was not ready to listen to anyone after seeing the increasing ratings of his show. The show starts again. The psychiatrist tells the audience that if the demon or any paranormal thing is present here, it can manifest itself in many ways. There can be a technical glitch here. Some things can break, and its entry into our world is only possible inside Lilly. Whatever you see or hear, it can definitely scare you. You can get under its control, but it would be better if you do not distract Lilly. The psychiatrist started his session, and here he called out the demon inside Lilly. As the psychiatrist said, "When the demon will come here, you will see some glitch." Here the camera showed a glitch, and the lights flickered. Along with Lily's face, her voice and expression had also changed. This demon knows the psychiatrist. He had talked to him many times, but he didn't know that the psychiatrist will call him in front of so many people. He did not believe. He was scared to see so many people. The psychiatrist relaxes him and tells him that we want to talk to you to know your purpose, nothing else. The demon looks at Jack. He looks at Jack and says, "It's nice to meet you, Jack." Jack tells him that we are meeting for the first time. In response, the demon says, "Don't be crazy. We have met before, in the midst of the same cult group that you are a member of." Now, because this demon was telling Jack's personal story, the psychiatrist wanted the demon to go back. But the demon does not listen to him. He tells the whole audience about the friendship between Jack and the psychiatrist. The psychiatrist got so angry that she slapped the demon. As soon as she did this, he got very angry, and for the first time he showed his demon face to everyone. Everyone was scared to see this, even the psychiatrist himself. The psychiatrist put a locket around his neck and started repeating a strange mantra to save herself from the demon. But the demon, instead of running away after hearing these mantras, starts repeating these mantras with the psychiatrist. Again, this girl turns her face towards Jack and asks him, "How did you let this happen, Jack?" At this time, her voice sounded like a woman. Suddenly, there was a lightning bolt, and we see Lily's chair flying in the sky. As soon as this happened, the producer told Jack that his show's ratings have increased rapidly. He has also met his competitor, and the whole country is watching him. This made him forget all his tensions. He was very happy. But then he finally remembered that Lily's voice sounded like Madeleine. After hearing this, the producer said that if it was Madeleine, she would have definitely appreciated you here. Jack comes back from the break, and the magician here tells the audience that everything you just saw, the face of the devil, his voice, are all lies, and I will prove it. He calls a man in front of him and hypnotized everyone, the man, Jack, and even the audience sitting away from the camera. Here, the magician tells his subject that you are more afraid of worms than I am. Do you know that worms are also in humans? As soon as he said this, suddenly something started happening in his body. He touched his neck. His neck was full of worms. He tore his stomach. There were also worms coming out of there. Everyone got scared except the devil. The devil was laughing. The magician now tries to break his hypnotism, but it doesn't break. The situation was getting out of control. Even after tearing his eye, a big worm came out of there. The magician said some words which controlled the whole situation, and he showed that nothing had happened to this man. All the worms we saw were actually because of his hypnotization. That man is absolutely safe. Magician says that I did what the psychiatrist did to you all here. I hypnotized all of you and showed you what I wanted to show. Is the magician telling the truth or not? To prove this, they rewind the video recorded in the cameras, where they see that what the audience saw was actually because of his hypnotization. Now Jack says, if the psychiatrist has also done all this in reality, to prove this, we should rewind the videos of the cameras. Now we know that everything that the audience saw was all true. Now in the footage that was rewinded, Jack saw Madeleine's face, which made him upset because Madeleine's face was sad. After seeing all this, Jack couldn't respond at all. As soon as Jack came to his senses, he saw Lilly here. As if electricity was coming out of Lily's body, suddenly her face was divided into two parts from which fire began to come out. This was definitely a demon. This demon strangled him and killed him. When the psychiatrist showed him the locket around his neck to control him, he trapped the psychiatrist in the air with the help of that locket. And because of his locket, his throat was cut, and he also died. After seeing all this, the magician also began to believe everything. When Jack takes out his locket, the demon also burned his locket. After that, he also burned the magician from inside. After all this, the demon passed himself to the cameras. The screen became completely black. Suddenly, there was a break in the show. When the break was over, Jack found himself in that show. He understood that he was stuck in the show, so he told the audience to stop the show. Suddenly, he reached that moment when he made a contract with the owner of the channel. When at the press conference, an anchor asked him, "What did you sacrifice for him?" At this time, the owner of the channel tells him that Jack's sacrifice will now begin. Two members of the cult came here who were associated with him. They picked up Jack and brought him in front of a demon. Here he was given a drink. As soon as he drank the drink, everything suddenly changed, and he had to sacrifice Madeleine. But before this ritual, Jack did not know that he would have to sacrifice his wife in exchange for success. Here Madeleine tells him that she is in a lot of pain. She wants to get rid of this pain. As soon as she says this, Jack kills Madeleine with a knife, and the scene suddenly shifts to the show. Jack regains consciousness. He had Lilly in his hand when suddenly a siren began to sound, and it was found that the police had come here. All this was happening live, and he had killed Lilly here. With this strange ending, the movie ended here.